It's time now for the latest in local news. In the news, we reported Thursday that Judge Burt Guy granted a continuance to the state of Georgia in the case of the state of Georgia versus Stephen Lee Wright, a former Jesup police officer who remains out on bond, waiting a trial date as he faces a 10-count indictment. The judge granted the continuance on Wednesday as the state told Judge Guy at that time they simply could not locate one of their key witnesses in the case. We got word yesterday afternoon that the state has located the witness, so no need for continuance. The case will begin with jury selection this coming Monday morning in Courtroom C. Over 300 prospective jurors have been summoned to the courthouse Monday morning. Once again, Stephen Wright is a former Jesup police officer who was arrested and charged by the GBI back in September of 2020, faces a 10-count indictment. Some of the charges: violation of his oath of office, kidnapping, aggravated sexual battery, and other serious charges in the indictment. GBI investigation revealed that Wright engaged in non-consensual sexual contact with the persons under his authority. He was first put on administrative leave, but later was fired from the Jesup Police Department. Wright is represented by defense attorney Adrian Browning. Once again, the trial will go on as scheduled. Judge Guy had scheduled it for November after granting the continuance on Wednesday, but again, the state has located the witness. The case will proceed to trial after the jury is selected next week. WIFO film will be on hand and have full reports here on their trial here on the local news. Chamber of Commerce held its post-legislative luncheon this past Tuesday at Coastal Pines Technical College. We conclude our interviews with our local representatives. Today we hear from State Representative Buddy DeLoach.
State Representative Buddy DeLoach, post-legislative luncheon, asked for the highlights, so I'll just ask you what you thought the highlights for the session were.
Well, obviously the budget's always the big thing, and what we do with our money, as Buck talked about. I also think I mentioned the CON issue, the certificate need for hospitals, has been around a long time. I think we came up with a solution that satisfied those that were pushing to eliminate it. We didn't eliminate it, and we are going to protect our hospitals. So that was very, very important.
One thing you didn't talk about, I thought for sure you were going to mention, was the anti-Semitism bill that passed. You talked about that before the session began at the Eggs and Issues breakfast, and it did pass. I know you're happy about that.
I did, and as you know, I was very, very passionate about that. And on a day like today, when our Jewish friends are celebrating, or at least observing, Passover, I never dreamed that we'd be in a situation in a country where their children and grandchildren are afraid to go to school. Their safety is actually in danger because of the unruliness, and we see it on our campuses. It happens at Harvard and Yale, and it's happening at Columbia University today. We, I think, are in a position to rein that in the state of Georgia. We can't completely eliminate it, but if those protesters break the law, I think we have the determination in the state of Georgia to lock them up and make them realize that they're going to have to abide by our laws.
You mentioned the budget, a lot of pay raises, but one thing that was mentioned today about the budget, a lot of people may not have seen, was the $500 million invested for the retirement funds for state employees. Talk about that.
Yes, we were about to get in an untenable situation where the employees were having to contribute so much to keep the fund viable. So with the excess funds that we had in that budget, because of our great revenue growth in the state, we were able to put the money in those retirement plans that we should have been putting some all along. And I hope we're on the track to do that now. So we help all those state employees.
Great news for Wayne County. And here at Coastal Pines, $16.8 million for a new science and health building. I know they're happy about that.
Absolutely, and this was the time to get it. I'm afraid if we went next year and asked for all that at one time, it just wasn't going to happen, because we are seeing a downturn in revenue statewide. But you've got Stephen Meeks, who's the secretary of the Appropriations Committee in the House, and obviously Senator Tillery is the chair of appropriations in the Senate. So this was the time to get it, and those two deserve a great amount of credit for what they did for Wayne County.
That goes the old saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
That's exactly correct. And as I said earlier, the difference in pork and bacon is pork is what somebody else is getting from the government, and bacon is what you're bringing home to your people.
No doubt. Well, buddy, always good to see you again. Thanks for being with us every Wednesday during the session. Appreciate that very much, and always good to see you.
I enjoyed it and look forward to it next year. Thank you.
Once again, the comments of State Representative Buddy Deloach attending the post-legislative luncheon hosted by the Chamber of Commerce this past Tuesday. We'll be back with more news after this word from our sponsor of the commercial messages, so please stay tuned. In other news, the Wayne County Sheriff's Department released the details of that fatal traffic accident which occurred early Wednesday morning on Georgia Highway 38 near Empire Road, which both occupants of the vehicles that hit head-on lost their life. Wayne County deputies and officers from Jesup PD arrived on the scene at the collision. Preliminary investigators revealed that the vehicle, a 2020 silver Ford Explorer driven by 32-year-old Christopher Brock Peacock of Blackshear, was traveling eastbound on Highway 38 at a high rate of speed and crossed over the center line into oncoming traffic, striking Vehicle 2 head-on. Vehicle 2 is a 2013 black Ford Explorer driven by 30-year-old Elizabeth Beth Ammons of Jesup, Georgia, who was traveling westbound on Highway 38. Both were pronounced dead at the scene Wednesday morning. Georgia State Patrol is now in charge of the investigation, again, at the request of the Wayne County Sheriff's Department. The investigation is ongoing at this time. Again, 2 people dead at the scene, 30-year-old Elizabeth Beth Ammons of Jesup, Georgia, and 32-year-old Christopher Brock Peacock of Blackshear. Again, it occurred Wednesday morning, head-on collision on Highway 38. Again, the Georgia State Patrol investigating the accident at this time. Early voting begins Monday, April 29th. This coming Monday runs for 3 weeks up until May 17th, with the Republican-Democratic primary date set for Tuesday, May 21st. In early voting in Wayne County, a new location is the new election building located at 306 East Pine Street. The time Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. The public can park in the large parking area in front of the tag office. Once again, this is the new county building right next to the tax commissioner's office in Wayne County, where everyone in Wayne County goes to get their car tag and pay their taxes. They state they'll enter the door on the front side of the building. Once again, a reminder, early voting begins this coming Monday, April 29. Several races will be decided on primary day, including the race for district attorney between incumbent Keith Higgins and John B. Johnson, 2 candidates both on the Republican ballot. So once again, this race will be decided on May 21st. It's a 5-county circuit with the voters of Wayne, Appling, Jeff Davis, Glenn, and Camden County determining the outcome of the race. Wayne County's race for sheriff could be decided May 21st, or there could be a runoff as there are 3 candidates on the Republican ballot, including incumbent Sheriff Chuck Mosley and candidates Toby Cameron and Donnie Ray. School board contested race between Tina Mosley and Tommy Weatherspoon will be decided on May 21st, as the school board positions are nonpartisan. Candidate Todd Wise running unopposed in his district, as District 1 candidate Kerry Yarborough also running unopposed. He'll be sworn in to replace Joe McPipkin, who resigned from the board due to health reasons once the election date has come and gone. Yarborough will be sworn in after the election May 21st. The contested race for coroner also over May 21st. The 2 candidates incumbent Jay Fulton, challenger Reed Shefka. Only contested race going to November here in Wayne County is for the county commissioner seat to replace incumbent Jamie Hickox, who opted not to seek re-election. 2 candidates on the ballot, but they're on different party tickets. Randy Franks on the Republican ballot and Princess Dow on the Democratic ballot. Both will win the primaries in May, and they'll square off in November to decide who gets that seat on the county commissioner board. Once again, it all begins Monday, April 29th, early voting to start. Again, it'll run for 3 weeks leading up to the primary date. Again, the date of the primary is Tuesday, May 21st. We'll be back with some final news notes after this word from our sponsor, the commercial messages, so please stay tuned. Final notes in the news: this coming Thursday, May 2nd, is the annual National Day of Prayer. Wayne County will have a special event that day at 12 noon in front of the downtown historic courthouse. Public's invited to attend the event. Once again, that's scheduled for this coming Thursday, 12 noon in front of the courthouse. Again, National Day of Prayer. A week from today, the Wayne County Chamber of Commerce featuring their Night on the Island, going to take place at the Pine Forest Country Club next Friday, May 3rd at 6 p.m. Features the Second Chance Band, and tickets are on sale at the Chamber of Commerce office. They're $50 for members, $75 for non-members. Again, they'll have hors d'oeuvres. Also, endless dancing. Dive in the excitement of engaging activities like our flamingo pool raffles and live and silent auctions. And the Chamber's event set for next Friday, May 3rd at 6 p.m. at the Pine Forest Country Club. Plans are being finalized for next Saturday's May 4th Porch Fest by the Wayne County Board of Tourism. It'll be taking place Saturday, May 4th from 1 to 5 p.m. Set for the historic Old Town Jesup District. This year's event has had great response from artists and will include the streets of Brunswick, Cherry, Plum, Wayne, and Bay Streets. Will spread out to include Elm and Hickory Streets. This year's musical offerings feature both local and out-of-town talent for participants to enjoy. Visitors to the event are encouraged to travel by car to the Elm and Hickory sites, then come back to the central event area for the rest of the afternoon. Golf carts and bicycles are also welcome. Also, chairs are encouraged to maximize the enjoyment of the entertainment. There are 16 host homes and churches with 17 performances planned. A map with times, places, and designated parking area will be available for visitors, and an information tent hosted by Interstate Credit Union will be set up on the corner of Brunswick and Plum Streets. Additionally, information may be found on the Tourism Board's Facebook page. Tourism Board's Planning Committee invites everyone out to enjoy the Jesup Porch Fest, and set for next Saturday from 1 to 5 p.m. in Old Town Jesup. Finally, in the news, again, Wayne County High School's junior-senior prom set for this weekend. The theme is the night in the Rose Garden, set for this Saturday evening at the high school. And we wish all the junior-seniors the very safe and happy junior-senior prom weekend. And that's going to do it for latest in local news. Sports comes your way in a few minutes. Bob Morgan's having a great day.